Good morning. Good morning. Man, it's good to see you all here. This is an answered prayer for me and my family. We have been praying and waiting and praying and waiting. God has been faithful to bring us here. It's been a busy week. Unpacking. I was talking to someone this morning. I said, how far are you? I said, 90%. There's 90% there. The rest of the 10% probably takes about 5 or 6 years to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never really finish unpacking. For those of you that have just been so warm and welcoming to us and been so loving us this week, thank you so much. I mean, we have really from day one felt very loved, very appreciated. Those of you who've come by, who brought meals by, who just stopped to say hello and introduce yourselves, thank you. That goes a long way. We didn't really know anybody here in Nashville, and we're coming to really love y'all. We're coming to love our community even more. If you're a guest with us this morning, thank you so much for being here. I'm new here too, okay? So we're going to figure this thing out together. But if you are here as a guest, what I want to hear our church members hear me say this morning is this. We hear about three things. Three things I want you to know about our church, okay? The first is that we are people who exist to love God, love each other, and love our community. Amen. Okay? That's why we're here. We believe that the greatest thing that we could ever do is to become more like Christ and to be His hands and feet for each other and for our community. The second thing I want you to know is this. We are a church in transition. Eastland Baptist Church is 107 years old. And it's got a very rich history and a very bright future. Today is my first day, but over the next few weeks and months, you'll begin to experience some things that may look or feel a little different than what you're used to. But I promise you, you're going to be okay. Alright? You're going to be okay. The Bible tells us that all healthy things grow as God prunes them, as God molds them and shapes them. So what we need to do is we need to open up our hands, put our yes on the table, allow God to mold us to the image that He wants us to be. Rather than the image that we want to be. The third thing I want you to know is this. We are people who have not yet arrived. Right? We're messy. We're broken. We're faulty. We fail. We fall. So if you're here this morning and you're looking for the perfect church, I'm sure there are a few other churches down the road. You're probably saying, we're not a perfect church. And y'all, we're not going to be a perfect church. Amen. We've not yet arrived. So if you're okay with those three things, we're going to keep going, all right? We're going to dive in and keep going. We're going to start the series in the Gospel of Mark, all right? And we're going to spend the next few weeks and months looking at what Mark has to say to us. What Mark is trying to do is he's trying to answer the question, who are we and why are we here? Mark was written it was one of the first Gospels ever written. And it was written to a group of Christians that had been gathered together in Rome. Now, in Rome at the time, this guy named Nero. Okay, Nero was a very terrible, absolutely horrific human being. He was narcissistic, he was arrogant, he was jealous, he was insecure. You may be thinking, hey, I don't got like that, right? But he was this guy that nobody wanted to be around, but he was in charge. Matter of fact, there's this one story that talks about how he wanted to build a palace in the middle of Rome. Right, he wanted to make this huge building, this huge edifice to himself, where he could live and he could have fun and invite all his friends over. But the problem was that the middle of Rome was filled with slums. I mean, it's where all the poorest of the poor gathered. And he knew that in order to build this palace, he had to get rid of this thing. So he began thinking, well, what can I do? So he hired some guys in the middle of the night to set fire to the entire city. And because it was poorly constructed of just bad materials, it caught fire quickly and it spread quickly and it went through the entire city. Now, here's what happened. At the end of it all, people started blaming Nero for what he actually did. Well, he needed a group of people to take the fall. So he had the public, he did this campaign where he made people think that it was actually the Christians who had done it. So the public were like, well, let's get rid of the Christians. So he began gathering them together. Well, now that he has this whole place empty, he builds this palace for himself. And he has these amazing gardens that he wants people to come and check out. The problem is that it was only open during the day, and at night it's hard to see. See what he did? He took the Christians he had gathered, he dipped them in oil, and he used them as living torches to illuminate his garden at night. So when Mark's writing to the Christians in Rome, he's writing to people who are in hiding. He's writing to people who are gathered in secret and who are essentially asking the question, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is what faces me outside these walls worth what I'm coming to the door right now? Let's be honest, all of us at some point have had to answer the question, is it worth it? Maybe we had a bad financial investment. We put some money in a place that we're like, yeah, I thought it was going to go a lot differently, and it didn't. Maybe you decided that you want to pursue somebody romantically because of what they could offer you, or maybe because you thought they were hot. I don't know. But you came back and, man, it sure wasn't worth it. Maybe you invested your time and your energy into a project at work, and it just completely backfired. And you're going, oh, is it worth it? What Mark wants us to do is he wants us to be able to look at that question, is it worth it? And balance it in light of what he wants to show us in who Jesus is and what it means for us. So, without further ado, let's turn to Mark chapter 1. We're going to read one verse today. Mark chapter 1, verse 1. Patrick read it earlier, but I'd like for us to look at it again. Mark 1:1. The beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Let's pray. Lord, you are good. You're faithful. We're thankful for your word, which gives us life. We're thankful for the truth, which shows us how we ought to live. We're thankful for the gospel that helps us get there. In your name I pray. Amen. So when you first hear the word gospel, a lot of different things probably come to your mind. Maybe for you, gospel was something you prayed when you were a child. Or maybe for you, the gospel is a set of stories that you've memorized over the course of your lifetime. Maybe you heard it at a VBS or at a kids' camp, or maybe you heard it on Sunday morning, and it's a set of doctrines that you affirm. Maybe for you, the gospel is a set of lists like do's and don'ts, right? The 10 Commandments. Do this, do this, do this. Don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And for you, it becomes a set of doctrines that you have believed in. A buddy of mine tells a story about how he had a dog named Max. And Max, unfortunately, when he was just a puppy, he got hit by a car, and his back two legs didn't really work. So all he did really was sit around on the front porch. Now, according to the way many of us understand the gospel, my friend says, it's kind of like the way that Max would look at the world. Okay? And Max would actually be a very good Christian according to the way we understand the gospel. Right? He doesn't cuss. He doesn't smoke, doesn't drink. He doesn't get angry. He was neutered, so, that problem's taken care of, right? Like, Max is a very good Christian. But the problem is that that's not at all what the gospel is. You see, we like to have our list of do's and don'ts and our rules that we behave by. But at the end of the day, that falls very short of what the gospel wants to do in us. For example, Isaiah chapter 40, verses 29 and 31. It says that God gives strength to the faint and strengthens the powerless. Youth may become faint and weary, and young men stumble and fall. But those who trust in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar with wings like eagles. They will run and not be weary. They will walk and not be faint. There are some of us who are here this morning who have believed the gospel, who have been coming to church for a very long time, and frankly, we are just flat out exhausted. We're exhausted. How about John 10, where Jesus says, I've come so that they may have life and have it in abundance. If we're honest, maybe some of us this morning are just getting by. Matthew 11, 28, 29, Jesus says this, Come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. You see, being able to articulate the gospel is one thing. Being able to say what happened in the stories is one thing, but having this truth completely captivate your soul is something entirely different. The gospel isn't simply to be a ticket to heaven, to get on a hell free card, or a mechanical list that we check off. It's the diving board that you jump off of into the pool of life Too many times we treat it as just the entrance. But here's the thing, the gospel is the pool itself. It is the source from which everything else in our life flows. Let me ask you this. How do you judge success in your walk with God? How would you say, I'm a successful Christian? Is it you have memorized a certain number of scriptures? Is it you attended events frequently or regularly? Maybe it's you give a certain amount to the church or to organizations. How do you judge Christian success? There's nothing wrong with those things. Okay? Don't hear me say stop giving. Okay? Don't hear me say don't stop coming to church. Please don't, right? There's nothing wrong with those things in and of themselves. But here's the truth. None of those things will ultimately save you. Attending a worship service doesn't save you. Giving a certain amount of money away doesn't save you. Being involved until you're just flat out exhausted doesn't save you. The only thing that will save you is a life that has been transformed by the gospel. See, the goal of the gospel is this. It's to produce a type of people that are ultimately consumed with passion for God and love for others. Now here's the problem. We can't do that on our own. I said this last time I was preaching. You don't have to convince me to love kissing my wife, snuggling my kids, and eating steak. Right? You don't have to convince me that. Like, I love those things. I do those things with great joy because I love doing it. Now, conversely, no matter how much you try to persuade me, no matter how much you try to convince me of its health benefits, I will never love running. I won't. Now, I understand if there's a bear chasing me, I need to run. Okay, but I won't love it. I don't love running. Many of us treat the gospel like something that we have to do. It's something that we're supposed to pray, something we're supposed to believe, so that one day maybe we can fall in love with Jesus. But the flip side of that is actually what is true. The gospel for us produces a change that creates love for God out of an experience of His love for us. I'm probably going to accumulate myself here, but when I was in college, there was a girl that I was very interested in. And we've been kind of dating for a while. She told me, she said, as we've been hanging out, I've come to realize you're just not that funny. Which is what every boyfriend wants to hear, right? And I said, I'm sorry. And she said, I think you need to pray and ask God to make you funny. So I did. Now, over a few weeks, we began to hang out a little more, and she came back and she said, you know, Jason, I can tell God answered your prayer. Yeah. Now you may be thinking, what? The truth is, we ended up getting back together because I was more concerned with trying to form myself into the type of person that she would desire, rather than allowing the love of God to shape me the person He wanted me to be. Many of us are treating God the same way. So to really understand this and unpack this, we're going to have to actually go back. So we're going to, I know we just started work, we're going to actually go back to Genesis. Okay? So let's turn to Genesis chapter 3. Okay, as you're turning there, let me set this up a little bit. You guys remember how it all started, right? In the beginning, God made everything. And as God's making stuff, He's saying, this is good. Sunlight is good. The earth, that's good. Plants, animals, trees, that's good. Sun, moon, stars, that's good. Then He creates men and women and He says, hey, that's very good. And so here we are at the beginning. We're existing in perfect relationship with God. We have perfect relationship with one another. We have a perfect relationship with creation. And all is going really, really well. Then it doesn't take long for it to fall apart. In Genesis chapter 3, we pick up verse 1. It says this. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. He said to the woman, did God really say, you must not eat from any tree in the garden? The Lord said to the serpent, well, we can eat from any tree in the garden, but God did say, you must not eat from the tree in the midst of the garden, and that's in the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it or you will die. You're not going to die, the serpent said to the woman. For God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Now when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable for gaining wisdom, she took some and she ate it. Then she gave it to her husband who was with her, and he ate it. Then the eyes of both of them were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. Now there's a lot of stuff happening in this passage, and we're not going to be able to get into all of it today, but there's a few things I want to bring out. First, God gave Adam a command to not eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, back in Genesis 2. So when the serpent shows up and begins the conversation with Eve, what does he do? He immediately attacks the very thing that God had said. He questions the validity of God's word. He says, did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden? And what did he say? Well, we can eat from any tree, the tree that's in the middle of the garden. We can't eat or touch it, or we'll die. Now, is that what God actually said? No, it's not. No, he said, do not eat from the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You see, Eve added a little bit to that, didn't she? She said, don't just eat it. She said, don't touch it. And see, what happened is this. In the midst of Adam and Eve's attempt to guard themselves from sin, they created laws above and beyond what God intended. God didn't say don't touch. That was something that they added to later. And the second thing I want you to notice about that is this. Eve never specifically referenced the the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. She simply said the tree in the middle of the garden. Now, why is that a big deal? Because if you read Genesis chapter 2, there's actually two trees in the middle of the garden. The tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life. And so in Adam and Eve's effort to say, hey, don't touch, they also created the rule of don't go. Now here's why that's a problem. Because in trying to avoid one thing, they cut themselves off from the source of life in another part of the year. They intentionally or unintentionally remove themselves from the very thing that could give them life. Here's why that's important. Okay? Here's why that's important, church. We have a natural tendency to take the good things of God and turn them into a list of do's and don'ts. I call this Christian karma. When things are going well, we think it's because we have done all the right things in the right order, at the right time, and in the right way. We don't cheat on our taxes. We give money to the homeless guy on the street. We read our Bible. We pray. And because of those things, we expect God to bless us and our lives to go smoothly. Conversely, when things begin to unravel, we have this tendency to think it's because God's angry with us, or maybe He's angry with somebody else. And so we try to do things to make it up to God. We give more, we spend more time going to church, we're reading our Bibles, and sharing our faith. See, that's not the gospel. That's religion. The second thing I want to know about that passage in Genesis chapter 3 is this. Look at the way Eve is described as looking at the fruit. She says this. She saw that the fruit of the tree was good. Now, why is that a problem? Remember Genesis chapter 1, where God makes something, He says it's good, right? The earth rotates around the sun. That's a good thing. Right? There's day, there's night. That's a good thing. There's a bedtime for your kids. That's a good thing, right? Like we know that those things are good. But look what happened. Eve looked at what God said don't do, and she said, no, that's good. That's good. You want to really know what Adam and Eve's biggest issue is? It wasn't running around naked. It wasn't talking snakes. Adam and Eve's biggest issue, which is our biggest issue, is this. Idolatry. Adam and Eve's biggest issue was idolatry. Now, you may be saying, wait a minute, I don't see any golden calves, I don't see any bowing down to anything. I don't see them having any kind of like worship service or something that's not God. It's because of this. Sometimes we fail to understand what worship really is. So I'm going to simplify it very simply for you. It says, worship is whatever you deem most essential for life and happiness. You worship whatever you think is most essential for life and for happiness. For Adam and Eve, it was the fruit from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. It was something so important to them that they were willing to do whatever it took to get it, even so they died. For us, maybe money. Maybe some praise of others. Maybe it's a good marriage, a worship style, a set of traditions, or experiencing some sort of pleasure. But when something becomes so important that it drives your behavior and commands your emotions, you're worshiping it. You're willing to say no to God to get that. And ultimately, y'all, idolatry is behind all of our sin. Idolatry is behind all of our sin. We place greater weight on something other than God. And we all have gods. We all have gods. Okay? It's not just for people out there. Everybody has gods because we are all created to be worshipers. And anytime we take whatever it is that we're seeking to give us fulfillment, seeking to give us satisfaction or identity, maybe it's a skill or a talent we have. Maybe it's how much time we spend doing good things. Anytime we take those things and we allow them to replace what God is and wants to be in our lives, that is the thing we're worshiping. Whatever it may be. One theologian goes so far as to say this: the human heart is an idol factory. So the question this morning isn't, do you have idols? The question this morning is, what are they? It's not, do we have idols? It's, what are those things in our lives that we will do whatever it takes to get, including disobey God? And then let me ask you this. After Adam and Eve had fallen, right, after they had eaten the fruit, what was the first emotion they felt? It was nakedness and shame. It was nakedness and shame. Now, were Adam and Eve naked before they ate the fruit? Yeah, absolutely. So what changed? One theologian said this: the early church fathers explained that prior to their sin, Adam and Eve had been clothed in the love and acceptance of God. So their nakedness didn't bother them. Now, having stripped themselves of God's love and acceptance, they were left with a sense of exposure, fear, guilt, and shame. So what Adam and Eve do when they experience this? Well, they did what we all do. They closed. But let's say that you were sleepwalking. And all of a sudden you woke up in the middle of Walmart, completely naked. Are you going to wake up and go, hey, you know what? I need some milk. I'm glad I'm here. No! You're going to find the first thing you can use to cover yourself and pray that nobody saw you. Right? Right? Adam and Eve essentially did the same thing. They made themselves clothes as thickly as they hid from God, because their clothes made them feel more acceptable to God. And the truth is, all of us have been on the same quest since. We try to cover the shame of our nakedness by establishing our worthiness in some other way. We find something that sets us apart from others, something that can give us the value we desire and hide the stuff that we don't want other people to see. We're smarter. We go on a certain kind of school. We live in a certain kind of neighborhood. We're a good parent. We're more faithful to Christianity than other people. We're good Americans. We're more artistically gifted than others. We all look for things to justify our own worthiness. A lot of times we feel like we're on a big episode of The Survivor, hoping that somehow somebody else will get kicked off and not us, right? These things that we use to establish our worth and our worthiness are what one theologian calls functional saviors. Those things that we look to in order to provide meaning, purpose, satisfaction, and give us our identity. The problem is this: what happened when those things are gone? If your value is found in being a good parent, what happens when your kids don't turn out the way you want them to? If your value is found in a certain type of music, what happens when that changes? If your value is found in whatever job you have, what happens when you get fired? all of it falls apart. All of it falls apart. There's a difference between a thermometer and a thermostat, right? A thermometer tells me the temperature of the thing that I'm in, the air or the water that I'm in. A thermostat is used to control the temperature of the thing that I'm in. And a lot of times what we do is we take good things. They're not bad things, they're good things. And we use them to try and create some sort of behavior modification in ourselves so that maybe eventually we'll get to the point where God says, hey, you're worthy. The problem is that's using good works to create a religious system that we're trying to use to be a thermostat. What the gospel says is something completely different. See, religious change, no matter how well intentioned, doesn't work. It doesn't work. For two reasons, right? Reason number one, here we go. Religious activities fail to address the root of the idols that drive our sin. Remember, our sins are driven by the fact that we love something more than we love God. Religious change targets the sin without actually addressing the idolatry. True religion is when you serve God to get nothing else but more of God. Amen. Many people, however, use religion as a way of getting something from God. I'll do these things so God will bless me. Right? I'll serve in this way so that I can have favor. I'll go to church if God will just get off my back and I don't have to go to hell. This is wearisome to us. And honestly, it's wearisome to God too. When we serve God to get nothing but God, Christianity becomes joyful. And sacrifice actually turns into joy. The second reason that religious activities don't work is because when our acceptance is based on our performance, we actually reveal two deeper sins in our lives: pride and fear. Think about it like this. When our nakedness is exposed, we feel a deep sense of fear, right? We're terrified. When people see who we really are, we're absolutely terrified. There's this feeling that we're not acceptable as we are, and we feel driven to do something that makes us more acceptable to God and others. But whatever we think makes us better than others, we feel proud of, which is a sin. See? On the other hand, when we feel like we don't measure to others, we despair. Our nakedness and our fear of rejection grow, which only leads to more fervent attempts to distinguish ourselves from others, and jealousy and hatred of those around us, which leads to pride. We're right back where we started. While performance-based acceptance thrusts us into a cycle of pride and despair, the gospel says, you are already accepted by God. Just because. There's freedom in that. You see, when our righteousness depends on our righteous behavior, our righteousness will be driven by a desire to elevate ourselves in the eyes of God. This is not love for God. This is self-protection. The gospel, however, turns religion upside down. You see, religion spells it this way. Religion says, you are accepted by God through D-O. Do. I do this, I do that, I don't do this, I don't do that, and therefore God accepts me. That's religious change. That's religion. The gospel says this: you are accepted and loved by God because of D-O-N-E, what He has done on your behalf. It's a different mentality. It's a shift in our thinking. But what ends up happening is this: we end up being able to do the right thing because we've already been accepted, which frees us to do the right thing. We don't do the right thing so that we are accepted for God to love us more. You see, when Christ died, as Pastor was talking about earlier, all of our guilt, all of our our shame, all of our nakedness, all of our embarrassments, all of our failure, all of our arrogance, all of our pride, all of our jealousy, all that was placed on Him, as we read about earlier in Isaiah 53. You know what we get in return? We get the life of a perfect 33-year-old who gave sight to blind, who caused the dead to come back to life, who lived a perfect life, died a perfect death, and rose again on the third day.
Amen.
So the gospel is simply this, okay? Before it's a list of do's and don'ts, before it's any kind of set, the gospel is simply this, ready? Jesus in my place. That's the gospel. Jesus in my place. And the other half of that is this. He was in my place, not in His. See, Jesus took all of that fear, that nakedness, that shame, and He put it on Himself. It was placed on Him. So that now we have the freedom to give, because I'm that accepted. We have the freedom to change, because God's changing me. We have the freedom to let go, because there's nothing I need to do in order to earn the acceptance and the approval of God. Jesus in my place. When religious change dictates us, really what we're doing is bringing condemnation on ourselves. But when gospel change happens, when we operate out of the approval and acceptance of God that's already given to us, we love generously. We give generously. We forgive generously. Because we don't look at it as a way of having to stick up for my rights. We look at it in light of the fact that God has already done that for us. God's already done that for us. Here's what I mean. Let's say you struggle with anger. Let's say that for you, anger is something that really drives you. Well, anger is usually the result of feeling like you lack control in a particular area of your life. You don't have control, so you get angry at the person or the thing in an effort to try to manipulate them and to bring them back into line with what you want so that you can again maintain control. Well, the solution to anger is just not to just stop being angry. The solution to anger is to realize that your need to control things or others is actually an idolization of your own power and authority. You get angry because you think happiness and value are found when others conform to your will, rather than the fact that God has already given you happiness and value in Christ. Okay? Maybe anger is not your thing. What about worry? Alright? Worry is a byproduct of an idolization of control, which we've already seen as a functional Savior that seeks to have its own plans established apart from seeking value and meaning in Christ. The gospel shows us that God's approval and blessing is far better and far more valuable than any of our plans for desire or control. The key to all this is this, y'all. We have to saturate ourselves with the truth of the gospel. This guy, J. Greer, who wrote a book called Gospel. And he actually outlines this prayer. It's 4 sentences long. And I think that it helps us. It's not to replace the Lord's Prayer. It's not a magical anything to open up a key to an alternate universe. It's just simply a way for us to wrap our minds around the truths of the gospel. And it's 4 sentences. It goes like this. In Christ, there is nothing I can do that would make God love me more. And nothing that I have done that makes God love me less. God's presence and approval are all that I need for everlasting joy. As He has been to me, so I will be to others. And as I pray, I will measure God's compassion by the cross and His power by the resurrection. And as we allow the gospel to transform us, we will discover things about ourselves that keep us from knowing and loving God, which in turn will create a desire to repent from those things, since they hinder us from knowing and loving God. You see, what our community needs, what Eastland needs, what Nashville needs, is not religious people. What this community needs isn't a new worship style. Don't need more programs. Don't need a charismatic preacher. This community needs people who have been transformed by the gospel. Amen. They need people who are willing to say, on Christ, the solid rock I stand. All other ground is sinking. All other ground is sinking. Let's pray. Maybe you're here this morning. You realize that you've never experienced the freedom and joy of a life transformed by the gospel. Maybe you see your past mistake is too bad, too consuming for you to even begin thinking about getting right with God. The good news, as Daniel read earlier, is that all our faults and fears and failures have been placed upon Christ. And all that God requires is that you believe that God has accepted you as you are. Not that you have to come clean or get things right first. Maybe you're here this morning and God's shown you that you've been using this church or even your religious experiences like a thermostat, trying to create a religious lifestyle in your life that would bring about the approval of God or others. Maybe you're tired, burned out, exhausted, creating clothes out of fig leaves that you're hoping will give you value in the work in the eyes of God. Please know this. Your value is given to you by a God who loves you, who died to save you from your religious works. If you're here, and God has been speaking to you on any level, we want to help you take that next step. We're going to sing this in a minute, but inside of your worship guide, inside your bulletin, is a little yellow card. There's pens and envelopes at the end of each row. And what I want you to do is, I want you to think about what is your next step. What is your next step in the gospel? But maybe for you, your next step is that you just need to actually believe it for the first time. Maybe for you, the next step is that you need to be obedient, following Christ, getting baptized. For some of you, may be asking God to give you the strength and the courage to forgive somebody who has hurt you deeply. For others, it may just be repenting of an area of your life that you know doesn't line up with the fact that God has already loved you and accepted you as you are. When we sing next, or as Patrick leads us, I encourage you to fill it out. We want to know how we can help you. I'll follow you this week. We'll remain confidential. We're not going to send out the checks. We want to help you take that next step of faith in the gospel. Father, we believe that in Christ, there's nothing we can do that would make you love us more. And there's nothing we've done that makes you love us less. Your presence and approval are all we need for everlasting joy. And as you've been to us, so we will be to others. As we pray, we will measure your compassion on the cross and your power of the resurrection.